They were at one point legitimately the closest team to Vitality at one point.
Are you fucking insane?
Right, hot take point made returns after stage 3 of the Cologne Major. We obviously have the playoffs coming up now. And believe it or not, here's how you know this is the dawning of a new day. Because actually, the spicy take to begin the show belongs to none of us. It's actually from a fan. So if you want to be the fan in the future gets roasted, then why not subscribe to the Last Few Nation Discord? There's a channel there, CS Hot Takes. You'll be able to then give your hot take. They're also in the future, Monty's teased this many times, soon we've got like a new premium feature coming up that'll have a different way to do all these things, but it's not here for now. So this is just how you do it at the moment. And as I've learned in these companies, when they go, it's coming soon, who knows when that is? That could still be like a month from now. I don't know. So the take is as follows. It's from Dr. Ducky, and he says, NAVI needs to make 2 changes in order to stay relevant and highly competitive in the coming season. These changes also would need to happen as soon as possible to get these players integrated into the team quicker. NAVI failing to make major playoffs is a good thing if and only if they can get a head start on making these sorts of signings now. Then he says the most likely and reasonable changes are Frozen instead of Immer, kyxsan instead of Aleksib, or Yimfa instead of Bit. So he says pick one of these pairs to do, Frozen and kyxsan, Frozen and Yimpa. Says he gives some basic reasoning, but it's pretty quick, so I can go through it. He says his reasoning for Frozen over Immer is it's basically agreed at this point that Immer has been inconsistent for a long time. When he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's really bad. He wildly oscillates too much to be on a top team at this point. He needs to be replaced. Let him return to a Gamer Legion level team and prove himself again. That's where he belongs. Not much more to say. Please free Frozen from FaZe, Elo, Hell. Then Yimpat one, he says Bit is a pretty good player and is also probably considered a franchise player at this point. Changing him is tough. Yimpat also hasn't had the best recent performances by eye test. However, he plays some of the worst roles and holds his own, which frees up a lot of pressure from other star players. This is a highly underrated part of Yimpat's game. This is a change that would be good to make for a few reasons. Stop another team from getting Yimpat and bringing him back to form. Bring someone new to NAVI to stop stagnation. Allow NAVI to loan out Bit, probably to Bait. I don't know where you put this part in, to make some extra cash. He's like fucking playing player manager now, like on FIFA or whatever. Anyway, put that part aside. The last part is why he would replace Aleksib. He says Aleksib is a fantastic caller. Similar to Bit, he has been with NAVI for some time now. This change might just need to happen simply to bring in new ideas and stop the team from stagnating. kyxsan has a similar pedigree to Aleksib when you compare their early career runs with inexperienced teams. kyxsan is available and could develop massively under a system such as Blades. Right, to bold take. Where we going, gentlemen?
Oh, this dude needs to shut the fuck up. That's first thing. Well, what is this name? Dr. Ducky?
Yeah.
What is he, fucking 4-year-old?
Everyone's name gets roasted by Kassad, I've noticed.
What the fuck is that?
What is an acceptable name online?
That's one of those Ducky. What Ducky? Like, what the fuck is he, like a child? Like, he's probably like some fucking dude that uses the vape thing or whatever the fuck is it? Okay. And okay. Has cartoon characters on a t-shirt, like
Louis Vuitton bag, maybe?
Huh? Louis Vuitton is fine. You're not a gamer. Right, okay. You're not a gamer. But, probably has a pink mouse, shit like that. Okay. Like those are those type of people, right? Okay. With the nickname Dr. Ducky. Like the thing is, like I would agree that NAVI might need changes though. Like, why not? But let's examine their season. Their season has been relatively, if not completely successful. It wasn't perfect, obviously, because of this, because of this major and what happened there. But it was successful season. They were at one point legitimately the closest team to Vitality at one point, right? Other than that, they failed in this in Cologne. Why? Because if we go back, and this is what I told you before the show started, Maui, and I even had this as a hot take, they don't have a star player. Makazi is not a star player. He just isn't. Like, on the most important games, he's just not there. Like yesterday. Or, against the Falcons as well. Like, where are you? Their star player is Bit. And always has been. Since Simple's departure. And, it was always Bit. Nobody else. So if you want to change players, you need to look at, like, logically and And what do you get by replacing someone, and what do you lose by replacing someone else? If you want to replace Ime, then okay, I see that. With Frozen it would be a good in kind of 1-2 together with Bit or Makaze or whatever you wanna, if you wanna keep Makaze, right? But removing Aleksib it would be a dumb thing to do, especially because you developed your team for such a long time to kind of just lose the person who calls the shots in the team. Then you need to bring in the new guy and teach him everything, from A to Z, right? And then start over and make a competitive team once again. Makes no sense to change Aleksib. I think he should be safe. Beat should be safe. Wonderful played more than good. So he should be safe. And the other two are, for me, the question marks. Like, we have been praising Maui, especially has been praising Makaze, Duncan somewhat as well. But Maui especially has been praising Makaze that he's some sort of a carry for that team. The true carry of that team is Bit. That person rarely loses a fight when he gets into 1v1. Rarely. His utility use, you can shake your hand, but his utility usage, his read on the situation is like unbelievable. It's unmatchable with any of the other players. Makaze can get only as far as his aim gets him. He has no in-game intelligence. No, zero. Like, he just goes forward, jumps into fucking smokes or out of the smokes, shoots people very sharp, and that's it. If that doesn't work, he doesn't have a plan B. Try doing that with Bit, see what happens. Like, mini hot take on this one, that after Rob's the main contender for the anchor of the year or anchor of the fucking decade should be Bit. The thing is, like, that, what that guy does is unbelievable, and I'm just ashamed you're not going to see him in the playoffs. But
no, it's a hot take, but fair enough. It's all good.
Yeah, I would never change. If I was Navi, I would keep him for another 3 years, at least. He's what, 22, 23, 24, 22, something like that. I wouldn't trade him for anything right now. No amount of money, because Navi doesn't really need all that much money, and he is so good for them. While on the other hand, the player who's supposed to be delivering numbers failed in the most important things, on the most important event of the year. So there you go, Dr. Sucky.
See, Maui, he's got that headmaster vibe where it's like, don't laugh while I'm talking to you. Look at me in the eyes, son.
I know.
I love it.
I know. Okay, so I'll address first the guy's take, then I'll go for Kassad's. This guy's take, I actually think is real. I mean, my opinion on Navi is changing as I watch them live, because I actually think that the two of the biggest culprits for their poor major were actually two guys that I didn't really think I was going to turn my back on. But the thing is that Counter-Strike is all about just form, who's in form, who's actually providing something valuable to the team, and who's actually not really pulling their weight. And I feel like in this Cologne Major, it is fair to look at Makaze's performance and want more. This is his worst rating ever, even from when he first joined Navi with Navi. So you got career worst form Makaze, and he's played good teams before. He's had runs in tournaments where he's played bunch of top 10 teams. So it's not like, but it does seem like it's either the pressure, or I would even say the other guy who I feel like I actually wanted a little bit more from at this event was Blade. I thought that the veto in the final series was extremely confusing. I don't know why he went for Inferno when you have literally the best. You could say what you want about Makaze. This dude is a god on Ancient. He is legitimately contending since he's pretty much joined the team as the best Ancient player in the world for his entirety of time on Navi. And you didn't play your star player's best map. It's very reminiscent of 2023 Paris, where they went to a final map Vertigo when Nico sucks at Vertigo. Like, I think that's actually on the coach or the IGL and whoever made that kind of decision. So I'm actually, it's like the one time I actually can concretely say this is a bad veto from Blade. And this season was always really weird for Navi, because actually I remember the last event I worked this season was Astana. I think it was the one before that I worked. We actually got the stat for it that in like 2/3 of the way through the season, that NAVI had a sub 50% win rate on their map pick. And that was the whole, like 2/3 of the season you had that. I don't know if it kept up because I saw at the major that they lost twice on their map pick and they only won it 3 times. But but this has been really, to me, the worst issue with NAVI, period. That I think Blade is still sometimes in between. Do I go for an anti-strat for them and I play a map that they're supposed to be worse at? Or do I just play our best map? But the thing is, I think that it kind of course corrected this season because they started just saying, okay, we're just picking Ancient against anybody. We don't care anymore. But then I think he saw G2 and was like, ooh, but it's like, come on, man. Like, I mean, say kassad will say what he will about Makaze. I'm taking Makaze over Nerds in middle, like, this year, easily. This year. Like, Nerds is yet to find his footing. Okay. Maybe I just went all in on kassads and I actually didn't address this guy's fan take. I had to. It was too pressing. Okay. But okay, now I'll just get into what he said about what Ema and Bit here. It's like, okay, yeah. First of all, the Bit take is horrendous. That dude should just be essentially, yeah, he should be a franchise player. Should be a lifer on the team. Keep him on. There's zero doubt in my mind about any of that. And Yimpat for him is that's just a downgrade. Like, that's just simply a downgrade. It's a guy with less stage experience who does get rustled a little bit more in the big moments. Like, you look at Yimpat in a lot of those Maus chokes, he's not holding up his end of the bargain. It was actually a couple people taking turns. Like, Torzy would do well, but then the team wouldn't. Spinks would do well, but then the rest of the team wouldn't. It wasn't Yimpat. Yimpat was not the guy you're going to rely on when the lights are the brightest. I will say the Ema point, though, is salient because for the positions that Ema is in, I often find him underperforming. The amount of times I see Ema have a kill dead to rights, and then he's full running, spraying, and he just doesn't get the kill is crazy to me. I'm just literally thinking to myself, why didn't you counter strafe? You're using a rifle. I just mechanically, I think Ema is kind of resembling Exertion to me, where there were 2 guys that were really set up for a lot of different plays, and the T sides work around them a bit. They have good CT spots, but then I don't always see that star level output that I'd want from a player that actually gets those spots. That's definitely one of my biggest concerns as well. But even though Ema is like so polarizing when you watch a game, because you'll see him make a nice move in the mid-late round that wins them the round. But then I kind of think more to myself, well, he was set up to make that move. But then I also see at this tournament, especially 1 to 2 moves where he just completely botches them. He goes too early. He does an unnecessary spam through smoke, just gets shot back. I mean, I think he's too error prone and he's too inviting for risks. And I think he does that because he knows in a 50-50 aim duel, he is just weaker than other people that are contesting him in those sorts of positions. Like, if I look at all the connector riflers on Mirage, I think Ema is in my bottom 10 or bottom. He's like in the bottom, like he's in like the 10th percentile of aimers there amongst like top 20 teams, where he should be, if he's vying for trophies, be one of the 2, 3, 4, 5 best aimers. He's not that.
I think this take is actually ass, because if there was ever one team in Counter-Strike that only needs a single move to get to the absolute top, it's fucking Navi right now. They've got the entire, like, notice, like, even though I agree with that Maui, actually, bizarrely, I do think this was a rare miss from Blade. If you even look, even his body language looked really off in a lot of these timeouts, and a lot of those, like you think of that Falcons series, mate, you would have thought he was the one that was under all the pressure and was all scared. Like, him and the team just looked so off in a way that I haven't seen before. Normally in the season, they're mega at doing the problem solving. He has the best timeouts maybe ever in CS history. He knows both how to cool the other star player off. He knows how to do the adjustment for his team. He knows how to do the pace switch. So they didn't do that in those matches. So, but with that said, one thing I generally can't complain about is the structure of the team. I think he's done a fabulous job building this squad out and making all the pieces there. So I don't know. My problem with this take is this. One, it is only Makaze's second major, and obviously, like, he was all right in the last one. He just wasn't mega. I don't think if you brought a player up from the like academy level like that, and you've integrated him, you're probably not swapping that player. So even though that player did do shit at this major, which I think is a big reason they didn't qualify, there's just no way Navi's changing that player out. You just don't do that yet. That's what you do maybe if he fails the next major or he has a bad second season. You give that player a chance. It's just the way economics of industry work. Even though I do think kassad went slightly too far the other way. Look, I will say this. He hasn't yet had enough tournaments where he was like a star player that he's like a guaranteed quality, you know, where you know he's going to perform in that way. But that's also why, like, I don't know about the idea he's already in with no brain. He seems like he hasn't. Yeah, he's still an inexperienced player for me. He hasn't even played a full year at Tier 1. Like, he's only just coming up to it now. So I think he's actually done totally fine. It's like the Molodoi situation. Yeah, they're lacking some elements because they're not blooded in. They haven't played 3 years in a row. The problem I have with this team is this. If you're Immer, yeah, it sucks. People have been saying this to you for 2 years. It's just true, mate. You're the most easily replaceable player on this team because there are so many good players who would love to play your position. We all know the names: Frozen, Elise, fucking Zenzu. All these people would like sign their soul away tomorrow to be in this exact NAVI team. And if you asked any of these guys when they're joining the team, should we make another move? They'd go, no, keep everything the same way. Just let me pretend to be Immer and let's just fucking stack trophies, boys, because I think we're going to win everything. The bit take is horrendous. It's actually horrendous because, as pointed out, thus far, he's actually on some heavy Godin G2 shit where he's the only reliable star player from his position. If you don't know a guy going, yeah, Impact would play all the bad roles, what do you think Bit plays out of interest, by the way? First of all, he's a CT god. And secondly, he isn't even playing like all the best fucking roles. I'll even make a random speculation on Maui's point there, that the reason why I think against G2 they picked Inferno instead of fucking Ancient is because, yes, G2's good at Ancient, but Bit was the only reliable player and Bit's best map's Inferno. So I think they were like, let's play Bit Inferno and see if that can get us through this series. Because he's the only reliable player. I agree with kassad as well. The amount of times in a game, I don't care what the scoreboard says. If I watch a game where NAVI plays, bro, they even did this against Falcons on a rounding on Anubis. There was a round where they had a hero AK. The hero AK was in Bit's hands. The fucking, like, anchor supportive element. Not, like, Immer's hands, big... Remember, Immer's supposed to be, like, poor man's Nico or something, bro. Some, like, star player. It wasn't in Makaze's hands, this young, sharp, young... No, it was in Bit's hands, because that's the one player where if you put him in a medium-range 1v1 fight with an AK, we all know the bullet goes straight in the head and he just has an instant opener. Like, that's not even your fucking entry, so there's no universe. Also, you are just riding narrative so hard on the whole, like, Impact plays all the bad, disgusting roles. Like, that wouldn't even make NAVI better. Like that whole waffle about it'll create space for stuff. What space? What star players were lacking? There's one thing I didn't look at in NAVI and go, is you're lacking space, guys. Like the only move, by the way, the only move I'd make for anyone else in NAVI is I'm replacing either Immer with like one of these star rifles we talked about. I think it'll just make the team better. Or if Monacy goes tomorrow, oh, by the way, I'm not only available, I'm going to remove the Russian flag. Then you know what? We'll upgrade Wonderful for Monacy. Aside from that, I'm not doing any other moves. kyxsan for Aleksib. Bro, that is even worse than the Impact one. Because the Impact one would be worse. But the kyxsan one, you're basically gambling he could one day be as good as Aleksib is now in NAVI. We've already got Aleksib. Why would I do that move? It doesn't make sense. Like again, notice you didn't even have the balls because who could? You didn't even go. He'd play way better than Aleksib. You were just hoping he becomes what Aleksib. Why are we doing that? Also, I like me some kyxsan. He can go and join a bunch of teams. Why is he getting into NAVI, for fuck's sake? And we just learned from Falcons. We don't yet know how we would play in a top team yet. We have no idea. So I think that one's wilding. I appreciate it as a hot take because I don't think anyone else would have the balls to say not only do you need two changes, but you didn't even do Makaze. You picked like fucking two of the most reliable pieces in the whole team. I think that's crazy work. But fair play. It was a good hot take. It just wasn't a good hot take in the sense that it made any sense. It was just very hot. I'll give you that much. And also, are you secretly Impact's agent? That's the other question I have. Because that part, I still don't understand where that's coming from, bro. What are we even talking about here? Hello. Also, he wants to kick Aleksib. We are putting a one fin only policy in NAVI at all times or something like, right? Sorry, Aleksib, you have to get kicked. We're bringing a different Finnish guy now. All right, my bad. Fucking hell. It's outrageous, isn't it? Okay. I've got a take for you, kassad. I think I'm going to lead with my... Oh, no, wait a second. Actually, I've just realised there's one thing I need Maui to tell me about first.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, we're given some crazy takes here. Fans are given even crazier takes. Some would even just say bad takes. But if you're listening to it right now and you're not liking the way that it sounds coming through your ears, we've got the deal for you. This message is, of course, sponsored by Raycon. You can go to their website at www.buyraycon.com/hot take. And today we're going to be talking about the Everyday Classic earbuds. I mean, these are their standard earbuds. These are the ones that when I'm on a plane, I find myself using the most frequently. Just incredible battery life, great noise canceling ability, crisp sound. I think that the Raycon Everyday Classic earbuds are an easy way to get yourself a better listening experience. So be sure to check them out. If you use our code, let's see. If you use our code, actually, you can get 15% off. And reminder, let's say you're not really happy with what you're getting here. Well, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you don't even need to really worry about it. It's practically like you're just getting yourself a free sample here. And you should be checking them out because, again, I just think that the fact that the battery life is crazy for long haul commuters like myself. This is just kind of exactly what I needed from just earbuds. Seriously, too oftentimes did other ones for me just die or not charge fast enough. So I've been going to the Raycon Everyday Earbud Classics, and you should too.
Also, it is Father's Day on Sunday when the major final is, so you can just get ahead of it now, get this little order in, and have some Raycons so you can give your dad those for the min-max. Right, here's my hot take, because I purposely want to set it up this way, since the playoffs are about to begin, and hopefully this episode will be out before. Do you know what, boys? If I look at this tournament, bad news for karrigan defenders like me. Karrigan's still fragging some of the worst fragging ever. B-Trams, the whole tournament is basically charting. Will he, break the record for the worst, performance relative to things like weapon you have and all the situations? Will he break the record? Obviously, Maui's already looked up the number. In theory, in history says no one's ever won a massive tournament like this with a player fragging that bad. He would have to basically transform what we even think of as Counter-Strike history. All these aspects. He's also had tons and tons of close games. It's not even like they're blowing people out the server. They're having a lot of really close ones. They have to squeak through overtime sessions, 3 maps all over the place. They played some good teams. They played some whatever teams. They got the odd good win, good, nice G2 win, nice NAVI win. These are good results, but still close. They could have lost all these games. By the way, they could absolutely have lost that NAVI game. NAVI was 11-7 up on Anubis or some shit. They had to pull it out the fire, as it were. And now, going into the playoffs, you have to go straight into Vitality, maybe the best team to ever play CS. And even if they've had the odd moment that was dodgy here, I actually thought they showed a lot of grit, and they actually showed that they're really hard, they're almost impossible to beat. So you might think, right, that's it, Thorin, you've got to give it up now. Nothing's going to happen. Here's my hot take. Since I already did the hot take 2 episodes ago that Spirit would win the major, that was my hot take, if you remember, right after Rio or whatever. I'll just say this one, because I think this actually is a hot take to some people. I do think most fans, that's why they're focused on this karrigan thing, think that this version right now, until we see a better karrigan, it is impossible for this team to win the major. This team just can't. Nico will choke. We don't know what kyxsan will do in the playoffs. Karrigan will frag really badly. They're playing Vitality anyway, the best team that has amazing map pool. In theory, this should be the one moment where you can't do it. My hot take is actually Falcons can win the major. This Falcons, even playing like this, can win the major. Now, here's the reason why. Yes, I understand. They got the bag. When you get the bag, you get the bag. When you got money, you got money. Some would even say they got the really big bag, Kassad. The really big one, mate. Not just the small one. They got the biggest bag of all. But you know what? They've also got an IGL who's got the biggest bag of all. Because I'll tell you what I saw in this Swiss stage for Falcons. One, you better hope and pray, karrigan. You better pray every day karrigan frags at these numbers. Because if he ever turns around and even frags at normal 2025, 2024 karrigan numbers, which were bad anyway, it's over. This team actually will be the second best team in the whole world, and they will win fucking trophies. Then secondly, even when he's been fragging like ass, this is where I wonder if people watch box scores and they watch the game. Are you watching the games? They don't play like the kyxsan Falcons. First of all, think about that Anubis game against NAVI. I have never seen kyxsan go to a Zonic timeout and then switch up the pace and start doing all fucking quick attacks and all ballsy plays where you just gamble on a 3-on-3 on this. I've never seen that ever from fucking Falcons. Falcons' worst quality was they had that thing of they get punched in the mouth once and they get really nervous and all slow the game down, and then Nico has to make some crazy play or honestly has to force an up duel. They weren't doing that. They were actually sending it. And then secondly, did no one see that crazy stat, which is that the kyxsan Falcons used to lose nearly all the overtime sessions. the karrigan Falcons is like 6-1 in overtime or something. That's with him playing like shit. So I think, this is my another hot take. I actually think this is one of the only teams Vitality didn't want to see in a round of 8 match. Like, again, I know that all the fans will go, who cares? Vitality would need to see. Vitality players, I can tell you, definitely respect people like Nico and fucking Morrissey, mate, and karrigan as well. Also, if you're a Vitality player, how many times has karrigan pulled absolute bullshit out against you at majors? How many times has he done a crazy veto or done some calls where it's like, you'd never make that call normally? It doesn't matter, that's karrigan, bro. One of the best things about karrigan, and this is the last thing I'll say is this, the other reason I think it's actually plausible they can make Vitality win this major is because I also think if they have to play in this order, Vitality into Spirit, into, I'm assuming, Fury in the final. Bro, until they get to Furia, they're the underdog in all those matches. I also think if you're playing with karrigan, one of the best things ever is the belief that he can just win you a bullshit game again with the underdog. I actually think in a weird way, they won't have pressure on them in the playoffs. Like, everyone expects them to lose. In fact, if they lose now, it's not even a big deal, is it? They're playing Vitality. So there you go. There's the hot take. There's the one where exactly, you know what, Kassad? You're someone who ironically wants LV, less variance. But actually, I'm with karrigan. We're also on that LV. We love variance. We love that. It's like that. You know what? We got the biggest bag ever. A fucking body bag to put all these French fucks in there. And you can get in there too, Messi, but you're English. It's all right. But anyway, the point is, you're getting the fuck. Send it back to France. Just send it the fuck home. You know what? In fact, I even know what I want him to say. Here's what I want karrigan to say the second he sends these Vitality fuckers home. Just whisper in their ear, Astralis sends their regards. Motherfucker. Listen, half of that was just to show you the Louis Vuitton bags, because that was the setup, obviously. What do you think?
LV is going to be LTV, like lost to Vitality, you know?
Okay, cooking. I like it. Keep going. Go off, King.
The thing is, like, I noticed you ate something when we started the show. Yeah. Must be the mushrooms, right?
Okay.
You ate some of those.
It was a chicken tender, but yeah.
Yeah. Chicken tender, yeah, sure. The thing is, like, I mean, you took over Maui's, main trait, and I'm gonna ask, are you insane or like what's the deal? Like, the thing is, like, you
listen. If loving karrigan is insane, I don't ever want to be sane again, bro. That's all you need to know.
Cherry pick whatever.
Of course,
like you enter into the garden. I'll take this.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Listen, I don't want any old and rotten cherries. I'll pick all the best looking cherries. They're all shining like an art design would. Yeah, delicious.
And I'm gonna cook the most ridiculous hot thing.
Cherry pie.
Like, the thing is, like, you mentioned like so many things that you forgot conveniently to mention others. That is fucking crazy. First of all,
no one do it like me, baby.
First of all, you said, like, if karrigan just he didn't do it for the whole tournament. What makes you think he's gonna do it in the quarterfinals against Vitality? Nonetheless, the other thing you forgot to mention.
Faith.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, it's the cathedral of Counter-Strike. Saint karrigan is going to pull an actual miracle off. Me and Maui will confirm it, and then he will become a saint. There you go.
Okay. The thing is, the next thing is, like, you forgot the Tessa's role in all of this victory.
Yeah, he's playing better, thanks to karrigan. You're right.
Better.
Yeah, he's playing great.
The guy had a life game against NAVI. Like, what he did was supposed to be the Nico's
exactly. When kyxsan was there, he was death. karrigan brought life. Yeah. You're just helping Bill Marquez. He's the Messiah.
Yeah, no. That's the thing that doesn't happen all that often. That's gonna happen against NAVI, and that's gonna stay there in that quarterfinal, in that 2-2 game.
Yeah.
When you enter the stage, there is so many factors, right now. Before we enter your Falcons can win or whatever, right? Although that's a mild, like, saying can win and will win is a completely different thing. You kind of, you went a little soft there, unlike you.
All right, so I'll pump it up then. How should I do it? Because the problem is I can't say they're going to win the major. I already did a spirit take like that. So I'll just... All right, you know what? Fuck it then. Here's the hot take. They beat Vitality.
Okay, fair enough. But you can say also they beat the semifinalists too and lose in the final.
Yeah, that's okay. But point is they beat Vitality though. There you go. That's the hot take.
Okay. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
But you said also, like, karrigan needs to do this, a lot of ifs, right?
Yeah.
And also, you forgot to mention they're playing Vitality in the quarterfinals. It's not like, they're playing 9Z, BetBoom into Spirit, or BetBoom into Vitality, and it's insta Vitality on the best of 3 in the quarterfinals in the Cathedral, you said it yourself. Yeah,
it's just LV, little Vitality. Just a little Vitality. No biggie.
Let's talk about the map pool.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm all over it.
Where do you see advantage for Falcons in any map?
Right, Vito comes on. Falcons, what do you pick?
Tell me.
Oh, sorry, I just took my balls out there. Anubis, motherfucker. See you on the map.
Come on, man. I mean,
they did look shaky. Vitality did look shaky on it. That is crazy, but
listen, I'm karrigan. This is my Vito. Anubis.
Yeah. So you're leaving open everything else.
We're rolling the dice, baby. This is gambling time.
Picks Inferno and just destroys you, or Mirage and just destroys you. Obviously, there is no Ancient and Overpass, so leaves Dust 2 and Nuke all the way open.
We ain't scared. We ain't scared.
I mean,
I'm just using like American sports slogans.
With a religious fanatic, it's like, no matter what, God told me this will happen. I believe into my karrigan God, and this will happen.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter the argument, no matter the fact, no matter the number or stat, it's just God.
Listen, do you want to know something, Kassad? It's not just me, though. Here's the other reason why. I sort of hinted at it. It's not just me believes. This isn't a religion of one. Monesi believes. Kiyosuke believes. Tessus believes. Do you want to know what's really crazy? And this is why I'm all in. Even Nico believes. And if there's one person was put on this earth to be an atheist when it comes to karrigan, to disbelieve, to be like, well, that's not actually science. I'm actually technically Serbian, but I live in Bosnia. It's Nico. Even Nico believes. I saw it in his eye. I saw the gleam. I saw that he suddenly switched to calling him Finn all the time. I saw that boyish charm came back where he realized, hey, this is a fun game. We play it for fun. We play it to express ourselves. It's not about the weight of the fucking Falcons and the Saudis. You know what? I feel like Nico again. And all of a sudden, all I'm going to say is Nico's going to be like 2017 Nico. And he's also going to drop a fucking 30 bomb straight on Vitality's head in one of the maps. So there you go. There's another hot take for you.
So that's like, even if all of this happens, it's
all going to happen. It's all.
Fate is a very dangerous thing, right? Like, you can, like, those fanatics, you just say, God told me to fucking kill this guy or do this. It's a very fucking, you can't really... that's a different topic. But if all of this happens, they run into speed.
You make my point for me, Kassad. If there's one thing we've learned from your region of the world, it's that when someone comes along, a strong leader who says, have faith in me and believe in our religion, we're a people who can do this, then they can accomplish anything. And then you put an AK in that man's hands. Brother, your whole...
Boy, this is turning into something completely.
All I'm going to say is this, Kassad. They've got 3 stars. And you know what happens when all 3 stars go off? Monesi, Kiyosuke, and Nico. Brother, it's in the stars. It was written.
No, anyway, but the thing is, like, the thing is,
I freestyle like half this hot take. Sorry, Martin. But it's good. Keep going.
If they manage to do all of that, they're running into Spirit in the semis.
Yeah, I know it's sad for Donk because at the end of the day, he just has to be a casualty to history and karrigan's greatness. Exactly. You know what's going to be really sad? I'm with you, Kassad. The one thing, I want them to beat Vitality, but I'm going to be really sad when Donk, who's having the best major ever, gets the fucking 2-1 loss narrowly dropped on his head with karrigan doing 0.4 KPR. It's going to be really sad for Donk, but you know what? Sorry, Donk, you'll get him next time. This is karrigan's time.
And the thing that bothered me the most is when you said, if they lose... Man, I just lost to Vitality. Who cares? Like, they played the good major.
No biggie.
But that's so bad. That is so bad.
It's no biggie.
Like, I mean, we are expecting them to win, but if they lose, they lost to Vitality.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you want?
Immediately you are admitting they're...
Yeah, of course.
But then they're going to... It just makes no sense. Maui, please. Some reason in this conversation.
I don't see... I see Falcons as an extremely... distant chance of winning this one. I mean, the record that they have versus Vitality is one thing, but Nico overcoming his demons to pull that off in this sort of format, I find so unlikely. I mean, I think that there's, to me, way more points of failure for Falcons than for Vitality. So nowadays, I think that's actually where I'm leaning on this one, that karrigan, we know, will be the worst player in the server, regardless of who wins or loses. I truthfully, even though I love what Tessus did here through the group stage, he hasn't always had the best track record himself with big moments and playoffs and things like that.
Yeah.
And he's my favorite Falcon. Like, I always love when he overperforms for his positions, how even at Melbourne, for example, like there's been so many key games where he actually helped Falcons get some moment over the line. But I just also think that kyxsan at this event hasn't looked as checked in for whatever reason it is with this lineup. It's kind of weird. It's almost like Nico gained power and kyxsan has lost some power. I don't know how that factors into this one, but no, I don't see Falcons. I would probably rank Falcons as maybe the 5th most likely team to win.
Let me ask you a question. If all of that is true, because you're right, even Tessa's has been a choker and heroic, a bunch of them, Keisuke's only his 2nd major playoffs. Who knows? Nico is actually a choker in major playoffs. Modesty's probably 50-50. If all that said, though, you would then agree, if they were to win this game against Vitality, that would prove it had to be karrigan then, right? It just had to be karrigan.
No,
I don't. No. I think Vitality look weirdly vulnerable. So that's one thing. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why I'm actually hesitant on just
exactly. I've got you shook now, haven't I? Vitality. You're feeling the karrigan effect right now. I'm embodying karrigan. I'm throwing you off. I'm throwing little jabs. I'm coming up with shit on the fly. I'm mid-rounding against kassad. I'm adapting to what he's saying.
Although just those mushrooms. It's just those mushrooms. You should say. Somebody called chicken teriyaki right there.
I don't know. It's just one of those takes that's just going to be proven wrong or right in the very first series.
That's why it's 1-1 exactly.
But no, I'm going to be taking Vitality pretty comfortably.
And you know this, Maui. You'll be on the stream. You know that if somehow Falcons pulls this off, one of the most annoying things for you two is going to be knowing what I'm going to be like next episode. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
It's not even going to be about the result. You're just going to know, shit, he's going to be unbearable now.
We can't let you
and win. God forbid, by the way, that there's a half that they win, like a Mirage T-set, and where karrigan just gets like 12 kills for Smith. If that ever happens, boys, it's over for y'all.
How ridiculous that sounds. Where we are thinking that 12 kills is just some fucking...
Listen, I'll take 12 kills all day long. I know. Listen.
Kills.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus. Exactly.
I just also noticed that as soon as somebody loses their pick'ems and they know they're not getting diamond, they just go off they go off the rails completely.
Just I know you're okay.
Yeah, because as soon as Navi lost,
just ruin everyone's pick'em, Besky. Yeah, of course.
You're just like, fuck.
I've got evil. You're right, because I know everyone's picked Vitality. I've got evil, and I want you. You notice I didn't even make it though to win the major. It just has to ruin all of y'all pick'ems. Because y'all pick Vitality, no one gets to diamond.
Oh yeah. Every time I lose stage 1, I just root for total disaster for everybody else too.
Same.
Exactly. I've got evil. But here's
I didn't get diamond, nobody can get diamond.
Here's the thing, though. If you haven't gone evil and you like to just support great Counter-Strike and shows like Hot Take Point Made, why not support us by purchasing this limited edition T-shirt for Cologne, where what we've done is taken an artist and he's taken a bunch of animals that represent the different top teams that are contending for this title, including Falcons. And he's done a design with them all around here. If you are someone who is in any normal country, odds are we ship to you. If you're in the US and you go to the shop and you buy $60 worth, so buy some other merch as well, you get free shipping to wherever you are in the US. And also, we actually do get a percentage, and it does help support us on this show because we also split with the creators that do the shows. Whatever ads are done, they get some of the revenue, and they, in this case, from people buying the shirt. So it's for a limited time only until the end of this month is when it'll be. I also assume there'll be like stocks that are limited too. If you order too many, maybe they run out. But please support the shows you enjoy, like Hot Take Point Made, by going to www.lastfreenation, all one word, .shop, and purchase our Cologne shirt. And we hope to, in the future, do other ones with other cool angles on them. Okay, which of you two is going next, gentlemen? Who's got the next hot take?
I mean, I can go Maui, you can do if you want. I'm easy.
Just go, you go.
All right, I was thinking like too many different ones. I was thinking like first to go at Blame F and disgustingly bad things that he's doing for his team, like some of the worst things I have seen in the server, even worse than it was before. But then I skipped that one. Then I was thinking going to 100 Thieves because it's time, But then I realized it's the playoffs and it's the major, so I might as well stick for some of the major topics.
Come on, then.
And the major topic is like I never really want to see Swiss system ever again in play.
Okay.
I think that this should be the last, and this bracket should be the last straw in the coffin of full of death that is Swiss system and the Buchholz or whatever you call it.
Yeah, Buchholz.
Right? Yeah, nobody wants to fucking see this bracket. We are waiting for this event for Major to be in Cologne for 10 years now?
Yeah.
And since 2019, we have been seeing, even since when I was a coach for Renegades, even that bracket was terrible as well. If you remember, it was Astralis and Liquid in the first matchup, and then NRG and somebody else, Avangar, Vitality, whatever. Ever since then, there was like so many crazy, shitty, unbalanced brackets that.
Oh, you meant Berlin? Berlin.
Yeah, Berlin. Yeah. Ever since then, ever since the Swiss system is there, it's like so many ridiculous things that I really want to see the semis, quality semis or the quality finals. I understand. I'm not diminishing the 9Zs of this world or BetBooms or anything like that. They found their way to. But if we had a system that is 4 groups of 4 GSL, sorry. With the best of 3s elimination and everything best of 3 pretty much. Then you get the seeding, then you get the 2nd seed, 3rd seed, 4th seed, and you make it the bracket as freely as you want to before the tournament, similar to what they do in World Cup, similar to what they do in basketball World Championships or any kind of team sports World Championships as well. So right now we are having what? If NAVI won, we would be having NAVI Spirit and Falcons Vitality, and then the other part of the bracket was
would have been the top 4 teams on one side. Yeah,
it doesn't feel like a something. I mean, it's not going to stop you from watching, but the matches and the whole legacy that the event would leave would be so much greater, and I think the games would be greater. I think if we see a semifinals where we saw what would be the quarters, between Falcons and Vitality, and then Navi Spirit or Spirit Furia, something like that, and then we have those 2 semifinals in one day. You pay the ticket, whatever they charge for the second day of the playoffs, full arena. You have all these 4 teams that you've been watching for the past year going at each other, and then the finals, whoever it is, right, from those 4 teams, you paid so much money for that ticket, and then you want to see the best of 5. It's going to be much more experience than you seeing, if you remember, Astralis Avangar final or a final where Vitality played against Mongols or, bunch of others as well, right? But that didn't really provide a legendary, experience to anyone in the arena, next to the TV or the PC or whatever. It just, it stayed there. We remember it, but it could have been so much better. I think one of the key reasons for that is obviously the faulty system of Swiss and Buchholz.
Okay.
What I mean. So for me, this needs to be the last one for this event, or at least the last year for this event, because as much as I enjoyed watching CS all day, 5 days in a row, the quality has to be better, and I think the hype around the elimination and the qualifying matches would be much, much higher than it is in the Swiss system as well.
Format discussions. I didn't think we're going to reach hot take point made, but I do think that that reseeding and would be nice. I also think that the opening round matchup thing is just. I don't even think it plays out the way that the theory is.
You mean the whole 1 versus 9 thing instead of the 1-16 or whatever they do for the Swiss?
Yeah. I don't think that because there are always upsets and it always messes up the Buchholz system anyways, or whatever it is. I don't see why we're not just starting.
If people don't know, the reason they do the 1v9, I believe Lerpus even put this out when Swiss first came around, is because if you just did a simulator where the top 8 teams all won every match they're favoured to win, at the end the top 8 can't get out of the normal Swiss unless you do this weird 1v9 thing, is what Maui's talking about. So they've built that seeding in so that in theory all the top teams get out. But as Maui says, when has there ever been an opening round where every favourite won? I don't know if that's ever even happened, does it? Feels like no.
No, I don't think there's ever been a. I don't know.
And if it was, it would be once. Maybe,
yes, exactly.
It only. I actually remember a tournament where it did happen. It was like an opening round, but it wasn't a major. It wasn't a major. It was like a Katowice or Cologne type, stage 1 type of thing or whatever. Whatever. It doesn't matter though. Okay. Yeah. No, my take is that I think there should be reseeding both for. I think the opening round matchups should probably. I mean, I do think they should just be 1 through 16 or whatever, because it changes teams so drastically when you have them down 0-1 or 1-0. So just give the number 1 teams the easiest matches to start, and then the seeding will fix itself. And yeah, I still even think that they probably should just be playing against in the playoffs as well. I would also just want it reseeded based off of earlier seeding. I don't like because Swiss for seeding is still just, to me, I don't think that's even what it really is good for. I think like using the Swiss to qualify teams for the playoffs, I actually think it's fine. I like this format in that sense. I don't like that it is used in putting the 1 through 8 teams for the playoffs. That to me is just it just seems needless, and it just feels like a misuse of what the format is built to do, which is just to simply qualify everybody to the next stage. So that's my whole take on that one. Just reseed it playoffs and make it so the first round is 1 through 16, not 1 versus 9, or one top seed versus worst seed, not top seed versus a middle seed.
The only compromise I'm willing to make on Swiss is you can keep Swiss if you make the playoffs double a limb. And the reason why is, if you make the playoffs double a limb, it sort of corrects for things like this, where, yes, the last few majors, it feels like it's all of them, like all the CS2 majors. I'll give you a quick rundown. Copenhagen, you had the insane phase side of the bracket, where it was Vitality, phase, Spirit all on one side. Then you go to Shanghai, you had the phase side of the bracket, and you had Vitality, G2, phase all on one side. Then you come to the Austin ones, maybe one of the only ones that wasn't that super stacked. Then Budapest had again, you had Spirit, Falcons, Vitality all on one side of the bracket. Now it would have been the top 4 teams in the world all on one side, except G2 made it through. So I do think so far the problem is, not only does Swiss have problems, but it is making us have super wonky playoffs because of this Buchholz shit and how you're seeded in. So if you had double a limb, at least there'd be a lower bracket where like teams could figure it out. Like if you were NAVI and you'd had to play Spirit in the first round, you could lose but then make the lower bracket run and still come top 3, or maybe make the finals, depending on how you do. So there's that. But if we stick what we have now, which is I feel like what people want to do in CS, they want the single limb playoffs, then I just think you get rid of Swiss personally. Like I would genuinely just do it as GSL groups with full BO3, and you know who you're playing. The groups are seeded properly. Top 2 get out, bottom 2 don't. You know exactly where you are all times. There's no crazy draw can happen, because basically the problem kassad's getting at also is this: because we only seed the first round, and then we even do this thing to help Swiss where we fuck the seeding up. So I'll point out 2 matches that I think are absurd. You had not only NAVI play Spirit in the opening match, that's fucking insane. That makes no sense on any level there. But then also remember, Spirit even 3-0'd. That doesn't even make sense. Like, what, they have to play NAVI, one of the best teams in the world. That's already wonky. And then secondly, you have the whole thing, because essentially what you're seeding there is you're seeding them as like fucking a team below all the teams in stage 3. And then the other detail is, the second you get an upset, so people like 9Z already did this, as soon as you get an upset over a big team, you fuck the whole thing, because now they can also get easier matchups, or it's like they take over the seed. So I am in favour of things like reseed. I would just get rid of it. I would just go to the GSL personally. I think it's so easy. Everyone knows where they are all times. There's no weird element. Also, you don't get the situation like NAVI ran into. Bro, as much as I've criticised NAVI in the earlier take, NAVI played all 5 teams were top 12 ranked on HL TV. That's fucking absurd. The second best team in the world has to play all teams that are dangerous. They never get a single moment to have a breather. Meanwhile, you go and look at any other team in the tournament, everyone had at least one like vaguely easy game. Or if you look at people like Aurora and Fury, they were just playing teams that are like PGL mid-tier event opponents. Navi's just running into killers over and over and over and over and over again. Then at the end, we all go, you failed the major. It's like, yeah, I had basically the hardest possible run at the major though. Like, that's also not fair, is it? Like, what are we doing at this point in time? And I'm a top seed. NAVI would have come in as a number 2 or number 3 seed in the fucking tournament, and they run into all those squads. So I also think that's another thing that's wonky. Like in Swiss, the second you get the upset, you also get absurd fucking other matchups too, and really unfair ones too. And luckily it didn't happen this time. But the worst ever is obviously on the BO1s. We used to sometimes get a 2-0 game where some bad team, like I think it was Team Liquid, there you go, Team Liquid Shanghai made like top fucking 8, and they never beat anyone good. They just had the craziest luck of all time with who they drew. So I would change that. I think it sucks personally. I'm with you. Okay. Now it's just Maui's take to close the shop. So where we go, Maui? Oh yeah, I forgot to say earlier, obviously if you want to submit a take, remember to do the Last Nation Discord thing. I think I did say it earlier, but whatever. Go on, Maui. What's your take to end the show? Is it spicy?
Yeah, it is. I would. Well, I'm curious. I mean, I have a small gap in what I would consider. Fuck it. Who cares? It's a hot take show. I'll just say my take, and you can argue with it.
I know. Where's he going? Come on.
Yeah. Who needs that? Who honestly needs that? So okay, yeah. This isn't snake and banter, so whatever. It's just okay. All right. Given what he has once again accomplished in overachieving, qualifying to this major, I think
it's Boomich.
The resume on Boomich is strong enough now that I I totally feel that it is reasonable in the modern era, disclaimer, that is what I consider CSGO and onwards, that I have Boomich as my 5th best IGL of the modern era. Number 5. I can name the other 4,
Go on,
but I'm throwing the take. I want to throw the take out to you guys, and I'll let you guys come up with it because at first it sounds crazy. That Boomich could be a top 5 IGL in history. But let me go over some of his achievements first, and then obviously you can fire back with maybe if you can come up with more names than 5. Because I think 5, 6 is really where I would stand on it for sure. There's one name I'm kind of like, it's a tie with him for me. But I would just say, okay, going through this. Major winner, obviously. Okay. He's a Grand Slam winner as well. He, in Copenhagen 2024, if I look at the roster that he had there, none of those guys are playing Tier 1 CS today. That's Axile. That guy is playing Tier 3. That's Hobbit. That guy's not playing at all, really. Electronic, that dude is floundering on BC Game. Perfecto, doesn't even have a team. They had no AWPer, and they got to the playoffs of a major. In fact, Boomich, while IGLing, took up the AWPing role on a couple of the maps for them. That is a crazy achievement for me. And then I look at him in this BetBoom team. This is a team that also is essentially using 2 standards, or it's like 1.5, because in reality, I would probably rate Dilladez better than Siren anyways, but it's not the team that he was playing the last tournament with. And they wanted, I'm pretty sure they wanted Art Frost instead of Zorte for some of this anyways, because he was playing with them in the past, but then it was something like he had visa issues, so they couldn't actually use him moving forward. Either way, he kept having to rotate his team. Not only did he qualify for the major, which is cool and all, and I think people would have considered that an accomplishment with BetBoom, with how turbulent the season has gone, he got to the playoffs. And now the only 2 IGLs, it's only been a few majors with Stage 1, but the only 2 IGLs that have actually gotten teams from Stage 1 to the playoffs are him and karrigan. That is a crazy accomplishment in this era. On top of that fact, I mean, I just feel like the way that he was able to, when he first joined BetBoom, to get a core that missed 2 consecutive majors. Everybody was telling me that Nafany's a good IGL, that Nafany should be on that roster, that Nafany deserved those players. He missed 2 consecutive majors. The first time Boomich got a hold of that core, immediately made it to the major, and look at what he's done now. Made it to the playoffs with it's a little bit of a different core now, but still flying the same flag.
Are you gonna name those names or what?
Yeah, who are the 5? Who are the 5? When does he get? Who's he breaking?
Well, I have 4 definitive ones that I would put above him, and then I think the other ones would be contentious. Okay, so for me, the guys that I have above him, without any shred of doubt, are Glaive, Apex, Fallen, karrigan. Well, even karrigan gets, I'm not even going to lie, karrigan gets a little bit, like, if I actually compare achievements to achievements, you'd be surprised how similar their achievements are.
Okay.
Are you fucking insane?
Where you going? Where you going?
I'm still saying those 4 are above him, by the way. But I'm having him as 5th. Because if you try to name anybody CSGO onwards that's definitively better than him, it becomes difficult.
So you're not gonna name Pronex, or you're not gonna name?
They won a major with him leaving immediately after. So no.
Didn't he win 3 of them? He
got that wrong. They didn't win one. They won tournaments when he left.
Yeah, but he won 3 majors. Yes, Pronex. Yeah. How about Jane?
I thought you were a James fan,
James just has less results. James has less results and has proven he can't work with star players.
Yeah, but he won a major with weaker players. How about, let's say, Nitro? How about Cadian? What are those names?
Cadian?
Yeah.
Dude, you don't even believe Cadian's a better IGL than Boomich.
I mean, but you mentioned success. I didn't. You mentioned trophies and like playing with different types of players and all this stuff. I mean, go back to the 16, 15, 18, 19. Where's Fallen?
I said Fallen.
Did you say Fallen?
Yeah, he did pick Fallen. Yeah, his 4 he picked was karrigan, Glaive, Fallen, and Apex.
I don't think he's even close to that. I mean, it's crazy to say that. Like, where is Zeus? from NAVI. Who won the major with Gambit. I think you got a little bit wrong.
Couldn't win a major when he had better players, though.
Yeah, but he won a major with Gambit, which had one of those fucking silly brackets. Where is Aleksib?
Aleksib was the name that I was actually saying could be fit one more above him. But then when I even compared some of what they've done, I honestly don't think that the results are that dissimilar.
I don't know. I think you are a little bit drunk on this one. There's too many names because I don't think Boomich is that good as much as you give him like respect right now. Yeah, okay, he's a decent IGL. He brought this team to the quarterfinals of a major. He had a stunt with NAVI, but this era of NAVI of one season, what was it? A year, let's say. Do you remember who he had in the team? The now who is 6 years later still the best anchor in the game, or second best, which is Bit. He had a prime Perfecto and prime Electronic and Simple. Like, let's not forget that. And after that year, go to the trophy room of Boomich, and like what happened after. Now, before that, he was in that QB Fire team that managed to get to the quarterfinals.
He wasn't the IGL of that team, though.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, it was Waterfalls. It was Waterfalls.
Even better argument. Then he went to one win. He didn't have Simple, Electronic, Bit, and Perfecto. Nothing there. He went to Cloud9 with Exile, Shiro, whoever was it, Shiro, I can't remember, but
Shiro left. Shiro left after. I think he was there earlier, and then he left after. Yeah.
But then Exile, who you yourself said he's the in contention to be the best rifle together with Nico, which was ridiculous back in the time. Now in January of 2025,
that was the beginning of hot takes. Yeah, true.
Year and a half later, he managed. He joined the January 2025 in this BetBoom. Year and a half later, he managed to get to the quarterfinals of a major. How did he do that? By beating Falcons, fair, Mongols, falling apart, and Foot in the 2-2 game. They lost to Vitality Furia, and that's it. So it's not like he had an impressive run, something to be admired, at least not to the point to make him a top 5 IGL of all time in the modern era. I think that's ridiculous. I think he's not even top 10. He's barely top 15, in my opinion. But that would require me going through 15 names, and that's going to take a while. But the thing is, like, he's not a fraud by any means. He's a good IGL with solid skills, aggressive. He knows how to play under pressure. That's fine. But top 5 is a big ladder to climb and a big fucking peak to get there. And I don't think he's nowhere near that. That he's a class or even 2 classes below some of those.
I could poke holes in all of the IGLs that you've named, practically with the exception of like Aleksib, maybe Pronax, but like throwing out Nitro's name is insane, dude. Like that throwing out Nitro's name is just because all he's won is a single Grand Slam, and then watching him IGL before and after that is just you're waiting for the biggest choke in history. Like that's all you're waiting for now.
You can also say about the Bobic thing. He had a 1 season, and before and after that he had nothing. He's
qualified again. He's been qualified for two major playoffs with scuffed rosters.
You mean
completely scuffed rosters?
Scuffed rosters, like
this is a scuffed roster. This BetBoom achievement is insane. This BetBoom achievement is such an overperformance.
Do you think in the old RMR structure they would have made it? Absolutely fucking not. We have the VRS.
Why would they not have made it in the old structure? They got through stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. This team is way better than the sum of its parts because Boomich is helping lead them to take down teams that they shouldn't be beating.
Fair, but that doesn't make him top 5 IGL of all time. You want to put him as a top 5 IGL of the season? Okay. But of all time, think what you're saying. Think of any other sports. And would some analogy or some formula that you're using to pick those players would be the same? That's like saying, the fucking Tracy McGrady is top 5 player of all time.
Okay, there's only 5. There's only 5 in-game leaders that have won a Grand Slam. Boomich is one of them. On top of that, only 4 of them have won a major. Boomich is one of them. Already, and yes, accolades don't mean everything, but if you even want to begin with that sort of baseline, he's in a very, very rarefied air in terms of achievements of leaders.
But
also, how many trophies has the GOAT of Counter-Strike won after he lost Boomich? One. It was the very next tournament. His career completely fell off after he didn't have Boomich next to him telling him how to play or even how to assemble.
It is 1 year. Everything that happened.
Are you done now, kassad? Is that enough? Yeah, let me in. Tag me in.
Yeah.
Right, here's why. Because now he just you pushed him. You did a good job as the prosecutor, and you broke him on the stand there because you got him to say out loud the sentence that the reason Simple fell off is because he didn't have Boomich to tell him how to play. You just got Maui to say those words out loud. I think that might be the worst take ever said on this show. The idea Boomich was ever telling Simple how to play, and by this logic, by the way, like I'll just point this out. They were also already mildly fallen off, even when that happened. They didn't win the they didn't win the fucking major. So what, did he just forget to tell Simple how to go kill then on those two? Well, the reason that's a bad take is the fucking Ukraine-Russia conflict broke out, mate. Simple didn't get to see his mum for like 6 months or something, and then they all had to live in other countries. Then on top of that, Boomich was found fucking trousers down, fucking rim around, fucking snow around the rim of the fucking chimney, all that shit, mate. Like, you can't just make it as simple as like, what happened to Simple since then? Mate, Simple basically finished out that year, picked up his number one award, and then fucked off into the sunset as far as I'm concerned. I know he kept playing CS because he has to have still that big income and the money, but it felt like after that he just stopped giving a fuck, didn't he? For understandable, sadly, reasons that we can never go back. We'd have to have a time machine and change many things other than Counter-Strike to change it. So, no, I think you cooked too far on that one. Here's why it's a good hot take. Because as you said on the accomplishments part, if you go purely on accomplishments, and then even relative to their level now, BetBoom, yeah, Boomich is he can be put into a conversation. My problem is I would do like kassad. I would very quickly eliminate him by talking about how much better all the other IGLs were. Like, if I'm doing my top IGLs of all time, I could easily get to 5 or 6 before I get to Boomich. It goes like this. First of all, the names you said are mainly up there. Like, I would go like karrigan, Glaive, AWPer. I think those three pretty much are almost a lock for the top 3. So we've got those ones. Then the other two, I would immediately go with, I think I go Aleksib number 4. I'd go Xizt number 5. I'm with kyxsan. People forget this. What, Xizt didn't win a major except with Gambit. First of all, winning with Gambit is up there with like Aleksib winning fucking NAVI. That's unbelievable to win with that squad. I don't care how much it was a fluke or whatever. Like, that's bonkers work, mate. Again, people like Aleksib and Xizt have won majors with no one close to the Simples of the world, even though he had Simple separately. When he had Simple, people forget this. He didn't have Simple for like 50 majors. Most of that early period was when he had Guardian. People don't know Guardian's Slovakian and isn't even like mega fluent in Russian. When he joined the team, I believe he barely spoke any. Like, people from that region know a little bit. Bulgarians know a little bit. Lithuanians know a little bit. He wasn't like some Heku who could just speak Russian as well, though. I believe he learned it while he was on the team. And even then, that's semi-scuffed. Like, that's one of those ones where it's like, that's amazing that you can even do that in like another. So actually, I think making all those, he made 2 major finals with him. Like, they had a lot of trophies as well. They nicked when they used to be a dark. I think Xizt is actually an underrated one. He's one of the ones I'm being reminded by this list has been forgotten by history just because he didn't win with NAVI and Simple. Also, at the end of his career, by the way, he chose to retire. If he'd have stayed with NAVI, he probably could have won with Simple years after that. Like, Simple got even better, didn't he? Then they got people like Bit and Perfecto. There was no Bit and Perfecto when fucking Xizt was there. I can tell you because him and Edward were the fuckers doing that shit, weren't they? So they were fucking the game up themselves. I think Aleksib one's mad slept on, mate. Aleksib, like, all the people above him on the list had the goats. They had to fucking everyone, all the best players ever. What did Aleksib do it with, mate? He made two grand finals, one with a little baby fucking Ents team that had no business being there, and then I think that Copenhagen made is one of the most miraculous wins I've ever seen. Even beyond that, I'm with kassad actually. Once we then get to names like Fallen, Prodax, I mean, it's all now about peak, isn't it? Like, I do think peak Prodax is mildly underrated because I just don't think he was the GOAT. But I tell you what, he did a great round, mid-round in with some excellent players, but I don't think those players would have won without him. It's more they didn't. And then also on the Fallen one, people might know I think Fallen's overrated, but you go for those couple of years though, he was killing it, and obviously like he actually was making great reads. So my problem with the Boomich take is this. First of all, I actually think of all the people who've ever won a Grand Slam and a major, he probably has the weakest case of an IGL. He had the GOAT! And as kassad said, mate, again, if you were to look at a roster, take Boomich out. That's one of the highest firepower rosters to ever play Counter-Strike. Even if Perfecto wasn't that much of a fragger, the other 3 were demons. Bit was actually having like MVP level numbers as the 3rd best player. Simple was like breaking every fucking record imaginable. And Electronic used to be like, I have like a 1.3 rating, but I don't get to win the MVP. That was like the world we used to live in back then. That team was impossible. And does anyone really look at that team? Doesn't this take away from Blade? We all give the credit to Blade. We don't go, it's Boomich that did it. I think it's the other way around. I think people like me look at it and go, did Boomich do anything? Yeah, I agree with you, Mo. Cloud9 and BetBoom, sure, Boomich isn't a bomb. Like I think he probably developed personally also. I don't think he was static. I don't think he was this IGL back then. I think he probably learned from not being with Simple and Electronic and not being with Blade. Learned it. Like, I think they play a totally different style of play now in BetBoom than they ever did in NAVI. So fair play to him. I'll give him credit. He should at least be allowed in these convos. And everyone should obviously, I agree. I think the Cloud9 one's mad slept on. He had no AWPer and he was in position top 8. And then I do think this one's amazing because in every single stage, because of the standings, you could make an argument they shouldn't make it through. But they did. And they actually, by the way, so far, they've yet to ever really look bad in a game almost at this point in time. It's actually mega. And he's also fragged out of his mind. Even though that doesn't count for being an IGL. He's also fragged in these stages. So I think this is a rare Maui miss. He's overcooked with the Boomich take here. He's put too much on Boomich's plate. And at this point in time, that isn't the sort of person Boomich is anymore. He's nice and thin now.
Good one. I like it.
I guess I'll say that also. So where to begin? So when it comes to Boomich, a lot of the praise that I think is heaped upon people like, kassad brings up karrigan, you bring up Aleksib. They were known for getting underpowered rosters who, they didn't really have the best players. I think in some ways, Aleksib's achievements to me were always on par or similar in a way, because he got that ends core to the major grand finals. I would say that the thing that Boomich did, getting a team that doesn't even have an AWPer to the major playoffs is just such an absurd achievement. And also, even just comparing them head to head right now with Blade versus Boomich today and anything like that, Blade lost the series to Falcons in a BO3 at this very major. BetBoom just beat them. I'm not ever in any world taking the players on BetBoom over the players on NAVI today. That would just be absurd. Okay. So he's continuing to build a resume out that if I'm totally comparing, the thing about Boomich that's also crazy is that he's now shown that he is a totally capable IGL with a star-studded team, which some players can't do. Some IGLs don't actually make that work for themselves. Sure. But he's also shown he can do it with extremely underpowered teams, ones that probably should just be, oh, you're happy you made it through stage 1 to stage 2, but you lost there.
If you could go back in time and you have to pick an IGL and the two choices is Aleksib and Boomich, are you taking Boomich?
It truthfully depends on the team that I have.
Okay.
But the problem is that Aleksib, if I actually use I'll do this. If we want to do like GOAT discussions, and most of the time when we're having those kinds of discussions, we think about the peak of a player and how you can almost poke holes in the peak of what they've done. Okay. Aleksib's peak is what he did with that NAVI lineup. Boomich's peak is different because obviously he had a top team, but he's had other peaks in a way because he's been able to get these underpowered rosters together. That's why his case with Aleksib is very similar, but when Aleksib actually had a star-studded team, he failed. Boomich didn't fail when he had a star-studded team. He had one of the best runs, and he had one of the best teams of all time.
Do you mean when Aleksib had Simple?
When Aleksib had G2.
Oh, right. Oh, fair enough. That one.
When Aleksib had G2, he couldn't win anything. Yeah, he couldn't win anything. Boomich won everything. Boomich was winning everything, and it was almost like, who's even going to stop this team? The war had to stop.
He's pushing that one a bit. There's no way you're comparing Prime Simple to Baby Modesty.
I'll end it with an argument that's going to...
Nico was on that team. A top 2 player was on that team.
End it with an argument that's going to shut him up. When it's funny you should say he brought a team without an AWPer to the major playoffs. Okay. I'm just going to throw Xizt there, who won a major and played 2 more finals without an AWPer too. And then you didn't even put him in the conversation as well.
He had 2 of the best. He had the 2 best riflers in the world when he did that.
Who cares? He didn't have an AWPer. You didn't mention him at all. You didn't mention the existence from very games as well. Duncan would also love a player called MSL. There are names that you kind of forgot. That
using existence is just because he laid the groundwork for strategies. But if you look at BetBoom, the thing is, nobody's studying BetBoom. Nobody is studying BetBoom. Nobody's studying what Boomich did with these rosters.
There is nothing to study.
There is. They're using nades that literally there was a tweet that actually came out on BetBoom's utility on Ancient, how they're throwing nades nobody is throwing. They're throwing a molly from out like CT spawn practically into bottom mid, and nobody has ever seen this before. So yes, people are now realizing.
Even though I don't really mean this, my joke there is because they've got all the stand-ins. The stand-ins like, no, boss, this is like a new nade I just invented. Like, no, everyone will have to catch up with us.
There's a lineup that they have where they can molly the bottom Tetris boxes on mid on Ancient that no other team has ever thrown in an official. Like they're literally using new utility on this team.
All right, last question.
Stand-ins.
Last question, because I can tell we're going in circles. The last question is this, Maui. Is this whole take contingent on him getting BetBoom to this playoffs?
It's that he was definitely in the conversation before that, but you could even I'd even say that the lineup when he did it at Copenhagen or with that underpowered lineup with I'd say at the time those names aren't super underpowered, but with no AWPer, you are just underpowered. Like that is crazy. Boomich was literally opping on Anubis and I'm pretty sure one other map there. Like that's ridiculous. Like it is. Is it contingent on that? Perhaps, and that's why it's a hot take because doing it again is where it's crazy. Because sometimes you'll give credit to an IGL for one time making a major playoffs. I mean, that was kind of like why in a weird way for me, Twists made it to a major playoffs. I actually think now given all of the majors that have ever happened, there have been IGLs who aren't necessarily great or even that good. They're not even they're barely just serviceable. Like Hunter, for example, on G2. Is this guy calling well? No, not on 80% of rounds, but do they have insane firepower that they can just bust through almost any situation regardless? Yes. So I'm not would I give Hunter a ton of credit for that today? Not really, but I think
you overcooked it.
You have to understand. This is the essence of the show, though, kassad. He's just on some, Brunson, Jalen Brunson's better than Luca now. He's got a ring. Luca couldn't get the ring. It's like he's doing a bit of that. You have to understand. Maui's more cultured. He's more enlightened than the plebs.
Okay, beating
he does care about rings a lot. He does.
Beating Falcons, a team you think can win the major.
Okay.
Boomich did just do that in a best of three.
I will just say, I did also make that as one of the hottest takes ever on this show that they win with Falcons. So you can't make that's not like a standard take.
I'm using it against you now, though. They're gonna win the major, but somehow Boomich beating them is not impressive. It is. It is very impressive.
Not impressive enough to put him as a top 5 of all time.
Exactly. I'm with kassad. I might even be more generous. Maybe he can creep into the top 10, but I'm also with kassad as well. And the last thing I'll say on this topic is this. I also think this is why I made the little jab about the rings. Unfortunately, I actually think rings are a pretty bad measure of an IGL because think about even how a round in Counter-Strike works on T-side. An IGL can make an amazing series of calls. He can get everything right. The team can get on the site. They can get the post plant and the players can fuck it up. That can happen in tournaments. That can happen in events. And so unfortunately, I don't think IGLing is that much about the ring at the end. I think that's at star players you can maybe judge. If they have a good enough team, they should probably win the ring. I think for IGLs it's harder. So even though, for example, my mate MSL never got close to a major final, tell you what though, every random day of the week though, if you just put him on a Thursday in a match, it'll be a very good IGL though. He's really very beyond serviceable, and you can put him with lesser players too. So I know what kassad means. There's even people who haven't run rings I think should be in this discussion and could probably push ahead. So it's all good. I think you've got, as usual, you have cooked a very hot take to end the show on. We probably should have led with that one, but it's all good. We'll just leave it at that. And just like my Falcons take, Maui's take is so self-serving. It doesn't matter if they get banged out now. If anything, that'll prove how amazing Boomich was to get them to this point of the major. So, and then if they win, my God, he really is top 5. So Maui's, as usual, has created a no-lose situation.